Hello and welcome to another Drive-In Double Feature. I'm Ryan,
I'm Nathan.
and this is the podcast where we talk about two movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. But before I get into anything at all, we have a Patreon over at patreon.com/Drive-In Double Feature Podcast. It's just got some fun games, fun conversations between two friends that are just having a blast over there for only $5 a month that you guys can experience as well, which does not affect any regular content. But today, we are talking about 1988's Bloodsport, which is directed by Newt Arnold. Now,
Oh,
that name
wow.
probably doesn't,
The
that name
politician?
probably you're like, yeah, well, I mean, we are probably thinking like, I know Newt Arnold, right, Nathan?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But what's the
I
first
voted
movie
for
that
him.
comes to mind? What's the first movie that comes to mind when you think of Newt Arnold?
Uh, I don't know. Bloodsport.
Oh, yes. Well, he is he did direct other movies, not many. Apparently, he's only directed Hands of a Stranger, uh, Bloodthirst, and something called From the Horror from Beyond.
The
And
horror from beyond. What?
and he did these are all movies that are made in the 60s and the 70s, and then 10 years later he directed Bloodsport. Um, um,
Interesting.
but Now I'm kind of making a little funny here, but he is actually a very well-known assistant director. I mean, he's done
Really?
some um, major movies: Godfather Part Two, Blade Runner, Abyss, um, Last Action Hero. He did a Simple Plan. He was the assistant director on that.
Holy crap. That's
Um,
really cool.
Sorcerer, War Games. So I mean, he's definitely no slouch in cinema. He
Yeah.
definitely is a person with some really outstanding critics. Just he's not known as a director. He is mainly an AD. So he is definitely a competent filmmaker, at least on that side, at least as an assistant director.
Mhm.
Um, Now, this movie, Bloodsport, this movie is based on a true story, Nathan. This all this stuff in this
Based on
movie,
a true story.
all this stuff in this movie happened for real.
Yes. Yeah. The Kumite is
End
real.
of end of sentence. That's it. Just
Yeah. There's nothing more to it. This is a true
no.
story.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I figure we could get into it later, but yeah, this is quote based off of a true story of a real
Mhm.
man named Frank Dukes that is a well-known at this in the context of the movie. He's kind of like a well-known man in the military, he's kind of known as this tough guy. And after this after something does happen, he gets invited to a tournament, and this is what this movie is about. It's called about the Kumite, the this real secret tournament that's going on, which is hosted, and he has to compete in. Um, and this movie stars a very young Jean-Claude Van Damme. This is Jean-Claude Van Damme's very first starring role in a movie.
Wow. That's actually I think that's pretty cool. It's like start off with this one and then you get a hit as well. And that definitely kickstarts a whole career off. And also it's not the last time that I read that Frank Dukes and Jean-Claude Van Damme would work together.
Yeah, Frank Dukes actually, for the movie The Quest, he
Yep.
actually was credited with figuring out the story, like not a screenplay credit, but he had the story credit
Yeah.
for that movie. So
Which Jean-Claude Van Damme directed that movie.
yeah. And there was this big falling out, though, supposedly between the two of them over that movie. But
We could probably
over,
get into that later with about
yeah,
him because it seems like he has a lot of falling out with a lot of people.
yeah. But Nathan, do you have any experience at all with Jean-Claude Van Damme? Because this is our very first Van Damme movie we've covered.
Oh, experience with Jean-Claude Van Damme? No, not really. I've seen a few of his movies. Like I like the movie Time Cop. I've seen that movie a few times, but otherwise I'm pretty blind to his filmography, but I've always been interested. What about you?
Uh, I hadn't before I mean, I've seen Bloodsport before, but I hadn't seen any of his other movies. The only other movies of
Oh,
his that I had seen, well, no, I take that back. I saw. I saw Street Fighter,
I was gonna say I've seen Street Fighter.
and the other one I've seen is actually JCVD.
I've seen that one too, actually. Yeah. I remember because that was a big deal when that came back. It came out because it was supposed to be like this is his comeback vehicle in a way.
Yeah, and I'll never forget it because I don't think we're ever going to cover that movie, but I want to at least say that it's just I always there's like one like uh critic blurb on that DVD copy that I always quote all the time where it's like he deserves not a black belt but an Oscar.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Which I mean, I'm not gonna lie, he is good in that movie,
He is, yeah.
but I mean nothing like I, I've seen better performances in other movies.
We're not giving JCVD an Oscar now, but it's a commendable effort.
It's for what he's able for his ability and what he's able to do, it's great.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's for a different time. How this movie starts, it stars, like I said, Jean-Claude Van Damme is playing Frank Dukes, and he's in the military, and he kind of gets this notice that his master has passed away,
Hmm.
and he flies off to Japan, which is apparently where he was trained. Now we kind of get this flashback sequence of a young Frank Dukes and Nathan. What is the deal with with that one
Well,
kid that
okay.
played it? Is that a kid, first off?
I don't know. That scene is so weird to me in general because it's a flashback where like you see Jean-Claude Van Damme over and over again. Like his face, like in the future it shows him thinking and then like it'll go to it. And okay, first off, the kid that was Jean-Claude Van Damme, did you think that was him? Out of all of those kids, do you think that was that kid at first? Like that was going to be him? Because he's so goofy looking. He looks nothing like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Works looks nothing like him. All it is just like this awkward looking kid like in that's wearing like Giants apparel, like
Yeah.
and he's just kind of like standing there kind of awkwardly. It's because it starts with like these kids breaking into this dojo
Hmm.
and they're looking at this katana sword that's kind of on display, and the master of the dojo named Tiger Tanaka kind of breaks in and is just like, "What are you kids doing here?" And then this character, the actor that plays young Frank, like speaks, and I don't. It's
It's like
why somebody would like whoever heard that in an audition was just like, "That's the one."
don't know because I think they were trying to match Jean-Claude Van Damme's like accent, but it's so bad. Like and it's like hard to understand and it's broken. It reminded me of a movie we covered recently, Deadliest Prey, with the guy who funds the whole thing, his strong accent, he can barely say
Yeah,
his lines. That's what it reminded me of.
I was trying to think. I'm like, is this actually his real voice? Like,
I
or
don't think
is this
so.
a kid that they like hired like another actor to voice his adult voice?
Oh,
I don't know,
maybe.
but like when he speaks, he's like, isn't it the kill the cats? And then it's just like Tiger Knox is like, I'm going to make a deal. What kind of a deal?
It's so bad.
I mean, if it's a child, I'm sorry, but
Yeah, I'm sure
you know
it's fine.
for making fun of them, but like I mean, I'm just like I'm more astonished that they would just somebody like heard that or just like, yeah, that's that we want that in our movie.
Yeah, right. Because it makes that scene just even more awkward. Um, because it's already just kind of awkward because the tiger's son has to come in and like kind of beat him up, and then they become best friends. And we have that scene on the schoolyard of Jean-Claude Van Damme as a kid protecting his quote unquote like almost like a brother. Um, and then they train up, and he gets to, and then we get revealed that he's dead, which is crazy to me that that character dies.
Yeah, the little his brother or whatever supposedly had died over an illness, and Jean-Claude Van Damme, Frank Dukes is basically tells Tiger Tanaka like, I want to represent I know our dojo for the Kumite because his his brother was supposed to be in the Kumite, and he basically was just like no, I want to be in it and I want to represent our school. So then Tiger Tanaka actually trains him seriously because originally he was just brought in to basically as a sparring partner for his
Mhm.
little for his brother, and he wasn't really going to be much more than that. But since his brother died, they kind of trained him up, and then he got eventually he became like a really great fighter, and they're like, okay, well now you're going to get invited to the Kumite, and we kind of get like a montage of all the other fighters that are going to be in the Kumite. There's like one guy like throwing people around, and there's another guy that's running up trees and like karate chopping coconuts.
Yeah. I love that one in particular. But I like that they do set up like these characters a little earlier, even though like I feel like in the Kumite, some of these characters are out so fast. Like we get the guy who kind of runs around on the ground, he gets one fight and that's like it for the movie.
Well, he gets no, he gets at least two, and
He
then he
gets
does get
two?
yeah, and then he does some guy with the bear hug basically kills him.
That's right. Yeah. Um, which is crazy to me. Can you believe this existed? A Kumite, a fight to the death?
I can't believe this is a real thing that actually happened.
Yeah. And Frank Dukes left the military, which they love him over there. He was so good that he leaves to go to China to go to this Kumite, and that the military tries to track him down, but like they don't arrest him or anything because he's just that good. They just have to just
Yeah,
take him back to America.
and one of the guys from the military is played by Forrest Whitaker.
Very, very young Forrest Whitaker, who actually, funny enough, is probably not surprised the best actor of everybody here in this movie.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Who?
That kid,
Oh, the
he's
kid.
great.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Um, but no, I will say like it's a fun setup and like as somebody who watched this is my first time watching the movie. I didn't know anything about the controversy or the story behind this movie. This movie does not sell itself as a true story till the very end. So you're kind of I watched this. I was like, oh, okay, this is just like a fun movie. Like I'm just having some fun.
Yeah, and we get there, and Jean-Claude Van Damme, Frank Dukes meets another fighter. Name is Ray Jackson, who is
Mhm.
played by Donald Gibb, who is Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds. If you need another
Oh my
action credit
God.
to remember him, and he actually recently just passed away, like
Oh,
as of recording this. So,
rest in peace.
and he is he's kind of like this big mountain of a man, and I noticed too, like he never really like fights anybody with any type of particular skill. It's just that he's just big and he can just like take guys and just throw them around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's like his skill is he's just giant. And I actually thought this movie was going to set him up as like the villain, like one of the villain characters, because the Jean-Claude Van Damme, the first time he sees him is on the bus and he like hits on that girl, and like the girl's obviously not interested, so he's just like, "Oh, guess I'm too handsome for you," and like kicks his feet up next to her, like right like in her like personal space. And I was like, okay, he's like the asshole character. But no, they actually become friends. I actually really like the moment where they play karate together on the arcade cabinet, and they become
Yeah.
buddies over playing that video game together. I think like
Were you
I
like,
think
were you like, I played that game?
I know that game. It's a classic. Um, but I think Ray Jackson at one point says, "Aren't you a little too young to be in the Kumite?" And then Jean-Claude Van Damme says, "Aren't you a little too old to be playing video games?" Which
It's like,
instantly dislike this
burn, got him.
character. Yeah. Even though they're both well, sorry, Jean-Claude Van Damme kicks his ass in the video game.
He does. He
Yeah.
at no point is Frank Dukes ever shown to be vulnerable or have any type of weakness in this movie.
No, never. He like okay. The one time he's vulnerable is just because someone played dirty and got sand in his eyes. That's the only time he could
Yeah.
ever be vulnerable.
And kind of like the big bad guy of the movie is this guy named Chong Li,
Yeah.
and his played by Bolo Young, and he's been in other martial arts movies. Probably his biggest acting credit is that he was in Enter the Dragon as one of the
Yeah.
fighters.
I want to say he was in Five Fingers of Death as well, which we've
He
covered.
was. We have, yes. But
Um,
yeah, he's kind of like the bad guy, and he kind of fights dirty or fights without honor. Like he'll knock somebody out, and rather than letting them get show mercy, he'll just do like an extra little chop or punch or whatever into him, and just to really show that he's awful.
uh-huh. Yeah. But let's not talk about the boring action bits. Let's talk about the amazing romance with the reporter. Oh,
Oh, of course.
yeah, there's a woman reporter there who is getting hit on by all the men, and then of course Jean-Claude Van Damme comes in and kind of plays this coin game and saves the day. So now there's this romance with the reporter, which it seems like there was an actual reporter who reported on this kumite, but of course it wasn't. I don't think it was a woman, and of course the person wasn't there at the kumite. The reporter just heard secondhand from Frank about this whole competition. I guess this brings more authenticity here, and also shows that Frank Dukes, he can get the ladies easy too.
Yeah.
At
Nope.
least, at
This
least,
this lady, she was not willing to sleep with anybody but Frank Duke.
yeah. What an egregious scene where after they have sex, he's like up and he's putting on like his really tight underwear. But like the way the shot starts, his whole ass is out. Like his ass is
Right.
out, he covers it up.
It's almost like he was just standing there with his ass out.
Yeah. And he was like, okay, you get one
Or
last
just
look, lady.
uh, he's just like waiting there for her to wake up just to see his ass really quickly.
It's so funny to me.
Um, but yeah, it's like her whole deal. She's a reporter. Her name is Janice, played by Leah Ayers, and she's been in some other movies that I
Hmm.
don't think none that we've covered, but she's been in like All That Jazz or The Player. So a couple of Robert Altman movies, a Bob Fosse movie, not too bad.
That's cool.
And
She's
anyway,
also I'm sorry, she's also in the Brady's, which is like the other Brady Bunch show. Who does she play? Marsha.
oh, okay.
Interesting.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, that was like when they did like the dramatic Brady. I know a lot about the Brady
Oh, I know
revival
you
series.
do. So yeah, one season, 6 episodes. So I'm guessing it didn't work out very well.
Yeah, there was like the whole arc where Bobby got paralyzed after being in a racing accident and he was in a wheelchair.
Oh hell yeah. That sounds awesome.
I've seen all of that. I'm not even joking. But
Oh,
anyway,
okay, gotcha. That's
um,
funny.
anyway, yeah, she wants to enter the tournament and she's kind of like looking for every angle. Like Nathan said, she ends up sleeping with Frank,
Hmm.
and but she's basically like, I want to go in there and see what's going on. Like,
Hmm.
and he's just like, this is not for you. This is way too violent. Like, you should not be there at all.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, so like this whole tournament, it's supposed to be portrayed as a secret tournament almost, where it's just like nobody knows about it. Like people aren't even allowed to talk about it, you, but they have like a registration table like at this tournament too. Like, like it's a regular like official tournament. Like
Well,
people just show up and like, oh yeah, like here's your welcome package. We got you signed in. Here's your
yeah.
hotel room
And
type
that's what's
thing.
that's what's weird about it is there's like, yeah, like you said, a registration table. Also, the Kumite competition has world records that seem to be like officially stated somewhere. So it's like, yeah, I hold the world record for this, and this, and they even have all of that. There, I think that when I read about it, like because as we've alluded to, this isn't very true, if at all. But like somebody said, like with the amount of people that are involved in this kumite, there is no possible way that they kept this a secret where only Frank Dukes is the only one who's talking about this, and the one guy he paid to talk about it.
But like they portray this as like, this is like an annual thing,
Hmm.
and they portray it as like this is something that people do. But yeah, like you said, Frank Dukes is the only one to ever mention something like this.
Hmm.
And we end up having like and they end up having this big tournament. I mean, the movie kind of just has like there's a lot of montages in this movie where it's just like people fighting. So they'll be like, you'll see like Ray fighting, and he'll just take somebody and just throw them out of the ring, and it's just like
Hmm.
"Rawr!" And then, or like I said, Chong Li will be there. He'll kind of like beat the crap out of somebody till they're all bloodied up.
Hmm.
Um, Frank Dukes ends up knocking out a couple of people.
He gets the
Um,
world record for fastest knockout.
yep, fastest knockout.
Um,
And that's kind of what sets off Chong Li, though, because like he beat my record.
uh-huh. So he's like they're all like he's like pointing at him. I think they points at Ray at one point and it's like, you're next. Um, Let me tell you, with all the fights and everything, I had a blast with this movie. I had so much fun with this movie. I thought the fight choreography was it was a really good time because it's like MMA before there was MMA. Just a bunch of mixed martial arts, a lot of like stagey choreography, really bloody, violent stuff. Like there's the great sequence, which I've seen this sequence before because it's famous of Frank Dukes going down on the ground to punch the big dude in the balls. That's like the final
Yeah.
move of that fight. Great stuff. I don't know. I had some fun with the fights in this movie.
Well, I mean, that scene in particular, Nathan, that's this character from this Jean-Claude Van Damme's character in this, and Jean-Claude Van Damme, he's the basis for Johnny Cage
Yeah.
in Mortal Kombat, for anybody that's aware of that. And that's one of Johnny Cage's moves, is when he does like that split leg and punches somebody in the groin area.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So like that's why that's like so famous. And I think also Johnny Cage does like flying kicks as well, which of course John Claude he does some crazy kicks in the air in this movie.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, I also agree. I mean, the plot of this movie, it's pretty by the numbers of what you would expect like a
Hmm.
tournament movie to be like, but I mean, it's gold.
Oh yeah.
It's got a perfect amount of cheese to it, got a perfect amount of fight scenes to it. I mean, because it's like all these super outlandish type of fighters. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no uniformity or anything like that. It's just like you'll find like like you said, it'll be like this little guy like kind of like running around, or like it'll be like this really
Mhm.
big, like huge dude just like squeezing people, and or like this guy with like this mustache that's like hitting people with like high knees and
That's right.
everything.
Yeah.
And they all and they do eventually all come back, and they all get beaten up and everything. The probably the most exciting incident of the movie, though, is when that kind of starts the whole thing, is Chong Li does fight Ray Jackson in the movie, and
Mhm.
basically he beats up Ray Jackson within an inch of his life, and you kind of think like, oh man, like he just killed him, but no, he didn't kill him. It's just
No. No.
it just enough to put him in the hospital, and that really pisses off Frank.
Yeah, he's like in the hospital, and like fighting for his life there. And yeah, Frank, of course, gets pissed. But of course, in the middle of all this, he has to run from the military officials too, which leads to some fun chase sequences, like in the city. It's almost like cartoony. Like there's the one where they're chasing him in the middle of the street, and he does like a Bugs Bunny, like almost just like, haha, we'll get you next time. Like he hides behind a bus and like waves and smiles at him. He's just
Mm.
that good.
Yeah, they don't want him in the Kumite, and they're keeping him like, we need to get you to go and all
Yeah.
that, but they see Ray getting knocked out and like beat within an inch of his life, and Frank is basically like, I have to, like, I will get on that plane tomorrow, but I have to go and basically
Yeah.
beat up this guy. And even like the military guys are just like, he's right, like he needs to do that. Like,
Yeah, exactly. At some point, they were like, "Whatever, just let him do it." And I think they watch the Kumite. They somehow find entrance into the Kumite, and they watch it and they get really into the fight as well. Which I gotta say, it's cool to see they have the walled city, which was a thing in China that was destroyed, which is like the giant, like, if you've seen a few movies, you've seen it where it's like this giant city that takes place like inside like just a bunch of buildings, and there's shots in there and stuff that I think are really cool. Um, but anyway, yeah, there it all leads up to the big fight between our hero and the main bad guy. And Jean-Claude Van Damme does kick his ass pretty hard at first, but then, like I said, he throws sand in his eyes, so then that's when everything goes wrong.
Yeah, that's the part I always remember when he has like the handful of sand and he just goes like that, and you just see Jean-Claude like
Yeah,
it just
and it looks like they have like Vaseline spray like smeared on the camera, and like because
well,
we're supposed to see it in first person.
well, I mean, so in that scene, another thing I kind of thought was a little weird because, like you said, they show the camera from his perspective, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, it does look blurry, but he can still see shapes.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he's still like punching around wildly, like he's just completely blind. He's just like like
Yeah,
until he it.
for a trained
But
fighter, that's so weird because, like, let's say he was a little blind, he could like. My thought would be, okay, I'm going to stop moving. I'm going to try to listen because he's just punching wildly at nothing. Like that's the
yeah,
answer.
yeah, he's just kind of waiting to hit something, which
Yeah.
eventually he does. His blindness does clear up,
Yeah.
and he does eventually beat up Chong Li
Mhm.
and goes back to Ray and just like it's like I did it. He's like, hey, good job, man. And he gets onto the plane, and that's where the movie ends. Like where he goes back to America. Not before we see a little title card, and they say explicitly that this is based off of a true story
Mhm.
of Frank Dukes. He is the first Westerner to ever win this Kumite tournament. He's got all these other world records. He has the most knockouts in any tournament, 56 consecutive knockouts, consecutive.
Wow, holy crap. Amazing.
Like like you said, fastest knockout as well in about point 12 seconds. Point 12 seconds.
Point 12
So
seconds. Oh my God. Which, like, as soon as the bell rings.
yeah,
Yeah.
like just like one punch, and the
Insane.
guy's already out. So, and
Was he
that's kind
fighting
of
a
where the movie.
child?
I don't know. He's fighting like the dead body, maybe, but
Yeah, maybe.
like he's just lying on the ground beforehand. But one thing too we didn't mention is that this is a canon movie.
Oh,
So we're
yes, that is important to say. It feels like
so
canon would be like, oh, we got to plaster that this is a true story. I don't care about any truth behind this. We are going to put that on here.
yeah. So I do want to go talk a little bit about Frank Dukes as a
Hmm.
person. So this movie comes out, it's a big hit. You know, people do love it. This is like a cult movie. Like I remember my brother he really liked this movie as well.
Hmm.
And it's really easy to see why. But anyway, Frank Dukes, the guy, um, he's claimed to be a special ops Marine that
Hmm.
actually fought in Vietnam. He supposedly fought in this tournament called the Kumite, and that he had a sensei named Tiger Tanaka, and that he had like this insane fight record where he told Black Belt Magazine that he had 321 wins, one loss, and seven draws. And then he did, but then he had another interview later where he actually said he had 329 wins and zero
Zero
losses. So
draw.
he just
Yeah.
he just pumped up his own stats there. Just like
Ugh.
you're like, you know what? No, I take back that one loss. I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm like undefeated.
Yeah,
So
this dude is crazy. Like if you're gonna lie this bad, why are you going to like go like you forget your lies and jump all around? It's crazy to me because like you said, he supposedly said he's a Vietnam veteran. And multiple articles. I read up on this guy because I thought it was so interesting, his story. And in the past, he had articles where he said, I'm a Vietnam vet. And then later, when confronted about it, he was like, "No, I never said I fought in Vietnam. I just did special ops around Vietnam and in Asia." It's like it's all because they wrote a book. There's a book called Stolen Valor, all about how he faked any of his military time in the military.
Yeah, because they said that he would actually, because he claimed to be a recipient of the Medal of Honor,
Yeah,
and and that he would actually like would wear like his military outfit with the Medal of Honor there,
yeah.
and people were really quick to see it's like, well, no, you're actually wearing like the army version of that outfit. You're not wearing the
Mhm.
Marine version of the outfit. Because one true thing is that, yeah, he did serve in the military.
Yes, yeah.
He did, but he never served overseas at all. He was just a reserves
Hmm.
for the military. And uh, he never did serve in Vietnam or anything like that. And when they did get to the part about the Kumite, there were so many people were just like, how is this a real tournament? And like there was a lot of speculation about that. And he actually told a reporter, it's like, oh well, go talk to this guy named Ray Robinson. It's like he was there at the tournament. He knows me, which this is supposedly, allegedly, the guy that was based off of Ray Jackson's character.
Gotcha.
So they said like, yeah, he was an undefeated wrestler at the Lower Marion High School, which I'm not sure where that is. I think that's in Pennsylvania. Okay. But he said he was an undefeated wrestler. So they interviewed him and he confirmed that it's like, yes, I was at the tournament. And Frank Dukes is a great fighter and everything, but they actually confronted him with the information that Ray Robinson had never actually had gone to that school at all.
Oh my God.
And Robinson was quoted as saying, all right, I don't know what to say. Frank was a buddy of mine when I was in LA.
And it basically admitted that he got paid to lie, right?
Yeah, basically he'd been paid to lie. And a lot of people that actually did know Frank Duke said he was a very delusional man. He had
Hmm.
like all these um, really wild ideas and just like he had he had a really hard time like with separating his daydreams from reality
Mm,
type of thing.
that's what it sounds like.
Um, like I said, Frank Dukes also said that he was trained by his teacher, which is Shinso Tiger Tanaka, and he said like he was like this amazing martial arts expert. And when people were trying to research this guy, they couldn't find anything because it said it was Tanaka's dying wish for Frank Dukes to compete in the Kumite. And the guy that was doing like doing the research before with Robinson, they found that Tiger Tanaka is actually the name of a character from Ian Fleming's You Only Live Twice.
Yeah.
And Frank Duke said it's like, oh well, actually Ian Fleming based that character off the real Tiger Tanaka.
Yeah, I'm sure Ian Fleming did. I'm sure he did.
But he said in March 2017, Dukes wrote an article saying he had found Tanaka's death certificate, which showed he had died in Los Angeles in 1975. Though as of 2016, Duke's website said that Tanaka died in Japan.
What a wonderful man. I
Yeah,
love that like we get a fun movie about a guy who just completely lied about every part of his life.
yeah. And a lot of people said, because he did open up his own dojo, because he said he was trained in ninjutsu when he
Okay.
was 16 years old, and he did eventually open up his own dojo in LA, which everyone was just like, it's a completely farcical style that he's teaching that is not any type of real style of anything. And uh, supposedly Frank Dukes though was the fight coordinator for Bloodsport.
Yeah, and multiple other movies.
So I mean, I do think he did have like some understanding of martial arts, maybe just not. of the level that he's portraying himself to be, but
Yeah.
I do think he was at least somewhat knowledgeable in the field.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
definitely. I mean, if you watch this movie, the fights are good. Like, I mean, the fights are a lot of fun. And I mean, uh, yeah, it's like you said, it's like it's hard to like because I'm sure he has some credibility. Like he was in the military and he knows how to fight, but like whenever you start to make these giant claims, that credibility, even if you have a little bit of it, it goes down the drain.
um, oh, one other claim is so supposedly like his prize for winning the Kumite was a sword,
Mm-hmm.
and supposedly he said everyone asked, "Well, where's this sword?" And he said, "The reason I no longer have this sword is because he sold it in a failed attempt to buy freedom for a boat of orphans from pirates."
Yeah, uh-huh.
And
Sure,
he al
dude.
he also stopped a plot to assassinate Steven Seagal.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Wonderful. He's buddies with even Steven Seagal.
Um, but yeah, they eventually uh Dukes had sued the magazine Soldier of Fortune for libel, saying for all the articles that they had written about him, like basically claiming that he had fabricated all of this. But Dukes eventually lost the case, and he was not proven wrong on every detail. Um, but overall, it was determined that they had not libeled him; that they proved that he was lying in some way.
Hmm.
And it shows here that John Johnson presented a photocopy of a receipt, which he proved that Dukes had purchased his Kumite trophy rather than winning it.
He went to like some trophy place on the corner.
Yeah, he just like it bought like this trophy just to prove, like, see, they gave me a whole trophy and everything.
For this secret fight club kumite. That's so it's so goofy, but that goofiness, I will say, makes for a fun movie. I actually quite enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Just like a piece of 80s action that was just enjoyable. You're not going to get a great plot here. You're not going to get great acting, but you know what you're going to get? You're going to have a fun time. So it's one that I can easily recommend.
Oh yeah, this is an easy watch movie. I had a
Hmm.
blast watching it. It's something that if you love action movies, you probably have already seen it already, honestly.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, definitely one you should check out. Totally recommend that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But that's gonna do it, Nathan. So, what do we talk about next time?
All right. Well, Ryan, we are going to be talking about The Tale of Zatoichi, which is streaming over on the Criterion channel.
Oh, actually, I'm very looking forward to watching that one. I've been wanting to watch that for a while.
Awesome. But Ryan, what are we covering on Thursday?
Well, Nathan, I had seen the remake for this movie, but I've never actually have seen the original one. So I would like to go back and see what the original one is all about. So we are going to be watching the movie The Stepford Wives, the original one from the 70s. And that one,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah, that one is streaming on Tubi right now.
Awesome. I'm excited to watch that.
Well, good. If you have any thoughts and opinions, please email us over at driveanddoubleFeaturePodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/driveanddoubleFeaturePodcast and our YouTube channel, youtube.com/driveanddoubleFeaturePodcast. But until next time.
Until next time.